Hi everyone, good morning.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am.
Okay, today's the last class. Just I wanted to give the minutes. If you guys have any doubts, you can ask me out. Okay. Okay, then on the minutes, take down the heading as normalization. In that, it is nothing but database design technique. It is nothing but database design technique. It is nothing but database design technique. Full stop. Generally, normalization divides complex table. Generally, normalization divides complex table into several small tables. Complex table into several small tables. And designing a database and designing a database and designing a database in such a way and designing a database in such a way in such a way that in such a way that there is no in such a way that there is no redundancy and dependency. There is no redundancy and dependency. Next, take down the separating as dependency. Dependency. In that, in the table, in the table, columns of data, columns of data in the table, columns of data is depending on the columns of data is depending on the values of non-primary key. Columns of data is depending on the values of non-primary key. Next, take down the heading as redundancy. Redundancy. It is nothing but unnecessary repetition of the data. It is nothing but unnecessary repetition of the data. unnecessary repetition of the date. Full stop. Continue in the next line. EF chord is the father of normalization. EF chord is the father of normalization and proposed normalization theory and proposed normalization theory in the year of 1970. And proposed normalization theory in the year of 1970. Full stop. Next, continue in the next line, point wise. First point, EF chord introduced first normal form, second normal form, first normal form, second normal form.
Ma'am, can you repeat again? EF chord.
EF chord introduced first normal form, second normal form, and third normal form, etc., till sixth normal form, till sixth normal form, and boycott form, normal form, and boycott normal form. Full stop. Next point. Suppose if the table is satisfying, first three normal forms, suppose if the table is satisfying first three normal forms, then the table is said to be normalized. Then the table is said to be normalized. Then the table is said to be normalized. Next point. Complex table is identified. Complex table is identified. Complex table is identified by applying the by applying the rules of normalization. By applying the rules of normalization. By applying the rules of normalization into the table. By applying the rules of normalization into the table. Next, take the heading first normal form. First normal form. In that, each and every cell in the table, each and every cell in the table should be having single value. Should be having single value. Take down the screenshot of this. Then take it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Just if you want, you can leave some space to write below the first normal form, or you can, like, after completing the complete theory of second normal form and third normal form, you can write after that also by mentioning it. Okay. Now continue with second normal form. Write ahead in second normal form. In that first point, the table should obey. The table should obey first normal form rules. The table should obey first normal form rules. Full stop. Next point. There should be functional dependency between the columns. There should be functional dependency between the columns, and there should be no partial dependency, and there should be no partial dependency.
Ma'am, there should be no.
Partial dependency. partial PARTIAF, partial dependence. Full stop. Next, return the heading functional dependency. Functional dependency. In that, all the non-primary key attributes, all the non-primary key attributes in the table, all the non-primary key attributes in the table, all the non-primary key attributes in the table should 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 be directly depending on should be directly depending on should be directly depending on primary key attributes should be directly depending on primary key attributes primary key attributes of the table. Full stop. Next heading, partial dependency. Partial dependency. Partial dependency. In that, in the table, in the table, if any of the in the table, if any of the if any of the non-primary key attributes in the table, if any of the non-primary key attributes, non-primary key attributes, depending depending on the depending on the another non-primary key attribute, depending on the another non-primary key attribute, depending on another non-primary key attribute. Then it is called as then it is called as partial dependence. Then it is called as partial dependence. Next, take down the screenshot of these tables. This is for second normal form. Taken.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next, write down the heading as third normal form. Third normal form. In that first point, the table should obey. The table should obey first and second normal form rules. The table should obey. The table should obey the table should obey first and second normal form rules. First and second normal form rules. Full stop. Next point. Next point. There should not be. There should not be a. There should not be a transitive functional dependency. There should not be a. There should not be a transitive functional dependency. Full stop. Next, take down the subheading transitive functional dependency. Transitive functional dependency. Transitive functional dependency. In that, it is also called as. It is also called as derived dependency. It is also called as derived dependency. Full stop. It is also called as derived dependency. It is nothing but the values of non-primary key attributes. It is nothing but the values of non-primary key attributes. The values of non-primary key attributes derived from derived by values of non-primary key attributes derived by derived by another non-primary key attributes derived by another non-primary key attributes. It is known as transitive functional dependency. It is known as transitive functional dependency. down these tables as the for the third normal form. Write down the screenshot. Then
Ma'am.
okay, then that's it. Go through each and every topics. I'll send you the interview queries. Okay. Here there is a SQL. You don't get particular interview questions. Okay. You need to go through all the topics because in the query you are going to include each and every topics. Okay. So go through all the topics. I'll send you the interview queries. Just solve them. I think it is almost 40 queries are there. Try to solve them, write it and execute all of them. Okay. Anybody have any doubts?
Ma'am, for mock also whole syllabus, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah, whole series.
Okay, ma'am.